EPA and WA meteorologist Bobby Marchich here with your outlook for the weekend of January 18th and 19th, 2025. It is Saturday. The weekend video forecast is proudly sponsored by the KP Agency in Easton, Pennsylvania. Annual enrollment has passed, but every day over 10,000 Americans turn 65, and that could be you soon. If you're approaching 65 or planning your retirement, is the perfect time to get your Medicare options in order. Our friend Kristen, the owner of the KP Agency, is here year-round to help you navigate the Medicare maze, making sure you get the coverage you need and when you need it. Don't trust your decisions to a 1-800 number or faceless website. Depend on a local, reliable source. Call Kristen at 908-329-7140 or visit thekpa.net to get started. They are the KP Agency in Easton, Pennsylvania, proud sponsors of the weekend video forecast. And what a weekend it is coming up. We got a little bit of, I want to say a doozy, but we got a significant snowfall on the way for many of you. And there may be some changes from the first call we released yesterday to the final call. I'll get to that in a second. We'll start off here with, we're going to use the GFS here today's video because I think it has a pretty good handle overall on what everything's going to happen this weekend. We do have a cold front that's going to be approaching today, so it is going to be mild out ahead of it. Mild as in milder than it's been. It's not really milder than average so much. It's pretty close to average, actually. 38 to 43 is the temperature spread across the region. And you see the rain-snow icon, and that is because the northern areas, far northern areas across northeast PA, north central PA, might have a little bit of a rain-snow mix as we get into the afternoon today. I think the day starts off dry, but then we're just mostly cloudy. And then we have this cold front moving at us. It's going to give the rain showers further south and a rain-snow mix further north. And as we get over to the NAM high-res future simulated radar, I'm going to start this off here at 9 a.m. Really nothing going on here at this point, but as you get into approach noon, you get a few showers starting to pop here. These are just really, this is really light stuff. And we talked about this all week, that the Saturday front wasn't going to have a lot of quantitative precipitation regardless of whatever type of precipitation is falling. So we're looking at generally a few hundredths of an inch, but less than a tenth of an inch of total liquid here. So a few showers moving through. This is looking at late morning to early afternoon. And you can see where the blue is up here. You could have some coatings, maybe half inch in some of the higher elevations up here. It's really focused on the higher elevations for the snow sticking anywhere because the temperatures aren't really cooperative. And this is also the middle of the afternoon. This is 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6. So by dinner time, this is out of here. But there is an opportunity for a few showers as that moves through. And it could be a rain-snow mix further north, or maybe even just snow showers on higher elevations further north, not really amounting to too much. That is the first system that's going to move through. And then we'll get to the next one coming in, which is Sunday in a second. First, we're going to go back to that here on the global model to show you what that looks like. It's going to be out of this wave right here that develops. Now, what this is doing in this case is it is developing along a frontal boundary. It is actually the same boundary that is moving through here on Saturday. At the tail end of this boundary, we're going to have a area low pressure moving along it. So let me... I don't have my pen tool. There it is. Okay. So right along this boundary, here's the cold front, and this is looking at Saturday evening. It's in association with this one up here. There's the area low pressure driving. Here's the cold front going all the way back here. There is an Arctic frontal boundary that's going to follow this. Okay, there's a secondary boundary that comes through. This is going to come through on Sunday. So that trailing Arctic boundary, this area low pressure forms along the tail end of this boundary right down here. Okay. Don't ignore this. This is just area low pressure just moving independently away from this. But this is there's an area low pressure that's going to form over the southeastern United States along the tail end of the initial boundary. It's going to be picked up by this Arctic boundary, and that Arctic boundary, which again is back here on the lead of this boundary, is going to pick this up and it's going to send it up in this direction. Okay, so that is where you get your snow potential for Sunday. It's just moving along an Arctic boundary coming in, and because it was left behind by this frontal boundary, the initial one, it's going to pick it up and move it northeast, and then you're going to have this developing over the southeast U.S. You can see that right here, starting to develop by the time we get to Sunday morning. Before we get that, the reason it's doing that is because we always talked about in the upper level energy here, this piece right here being the key piece of this entire thing. This has to dig far enough south, which is going to do to be able to turn this trough negative when we get up here, and it's going to grab this system and allow it to develop and move up the coast like this, and that's what it's going to do. That's really kind of giving it a kick and enhancing it a little bit, allowing it to intensify and turn into an actual storm. So as they move this forward, you can see this piece right here diving down. And then once we get to Sunday afternoon, your area low pressure is then picked up by this Arctic front, and it develops pretty rapidly as it moves off to the northeast. This is not quite, I know some of you have been waiting around for me to use the word bombogenesis. This is not that kind of system because it doesn't involve phasing necessarily. So that's the kind of thing where you have rapid development within 24 hours. It is going to rapidly develop, but just not that fast. So it's not going to be, it has a limited upside, and it's going to be relatively quick moving. The amount of snow you're going to get is going to fall between 8 and, well, probably about 8 and 12 hours, somewhere in between there. It says the total snowfall period that it would snow from this event here. But at this point here, we're looking at this base of this trough being like this, right? And you have a negatively tilted trough that's going to allow that to intensify, okay? So here's what it does. Here's the GFS that rain this evening. It's the latest and greatest. And it kind of hugs the coastline here as it moves north and east, and you get some interior heavy snow. A little mixing in far southeastern areas. The GFS, though, is actually suggesting that the mixing southeast of I-95 is going to remain southeast of I-95 and not over I-95. So there's the opportunity to see a little bit more snow out of this for areas a little bit further southeast than we have on our map. I don't think it affects anything in the interior. That stays the same, including the far northwestern areas, and I'll show you why in a second. But here's what the NAM did this evening, and here is the snowfall moving in here. This is looking at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You see these darker blues here. That is moderate to heavy snow, ½ inch to 1 inch plus per hour in this case. Here is South Philadelphia right here. This is where the Eagles-Rams game is on Sunday, right where I'm putting this dot. That is right there. You can see the dark blues are over there. So with the game start time and in the hours that follow this, the couple hours that follow this, it remains in snow. So it should be snowing throughout the entire game here in South Philadelphia. Some of you have said that benefits the Eagles because they have a better run, the good running game, and their offense is tied to the running game, and that helps you in a snow situation to be able to run the ball. Whereas the Rams are more, their offense is more geared around passing, which is hindered by snow falling and on the ground. So we'll see how that works out. Hoping for Eagles win no matter how we can get it, but wasn't really a fan of the fact that this was going to hit during the divisional playoff game here in South Philadelphia, but it is what it is. So this is what the 3-kilometer NAM does. It has the snow going through the region, and this wraps up during the course of the evening. Earlier evening further southwest, farther northeast, it'll be late evening and close to midnight before this is finally out of here and leaves northern New Jersey at that point. So that is the evolution of this. The heaviest snow, of course, is going to be in this corridor right here. Further northwest is going to be a lot lighter. All right, and there is a chance that you might get shafted a little bit on this northwest side, but we'll see. We'll see how that works out with our final call map. As far as our map call we have for this one, this is what we have for our first call. Okay, and our jackpot zone, really all of E and F here. This is all in between here, a 4 to 8 inch swath. The F is just figuring an area where that has the best potential to see the upper end of that 4 to 8 range, or possibly exceed, meaning going 8, maybe 9, maybe 10. That's possible in a few of those areas there. There is a possibility, though, that this line is extended a little bit further, not much, but a little bit further southeast. And so would, in this case, the 2 to 4 inch line, which is the area D here. So that is possible that we have to extend it. Not really necessarily eliminate this area up here, but we'll watch that too. I think it's going to be just a little bit of a shift of the heaviest a little bit further southeast based on the trends that I'm seeing this evening. If there's a change that we do, it's going to be on Saturday at 5 o'clock with the final call map that we put out. And that's why we do a first call, final call maps, because the first call is kind of like the heads up and the best call at that time, but we do allow that there's the opportunity for some things to shift just a little bit, and it might get some higher ranges. If it does, it's going to be extending further southeast as far as the heaviest snows are concerned, okay? So when we do snow maps, a lot of people look at snow maps, they post snow maps on social media, and they're like, oh, the RGM has this, the Canadian has this, the GFS has this, NAM has this. We look at QPF maps and we look at soundings, okay? Soundings are upper air soundings, so it's going to tell us what the snow ratios are. We're not trying to rely on a model to try to figure that out for us. I will tell you that we're looking at QPF first, which is the equivalent, liquid equivalent. If this is all rain, pretend it's all rain. This is what the model's projecting where it would fall, and where the heaviest is right in here. Okay, a little bit southeast of where we have it right now. This is what the GFS has. We have this most of these areas in a 4 to 8 inch range now. but it might be slightly southeast of where it is to include Philadelphia, which is now South Philadelphia. In fact, this is in the 2 to 4. It might be a little bit higher there. We have already northern New Jersey in that solid in that 4 to 8, and same with the Lehigh Valley, Poconos, back to Lancaster. So that wouldn't be any different. Now, with the ratios that I'm talking about, which is normally it's 10 inches of snow for every 1 inch of rain, that will be true when you get down here. Down here, it will be about a 10 to 1 when you get near I-95. When you get up here, Lancaster, Lehigh Valley to northwest New Jersey, it's more like 15 to 1. So 15 inches of snow for every 1 inch of rain. And then when you get up here, it's about 20 to 1. And that's because that Arctic front is coming in and it's lowering these ratio, or raising the snow ratio the further northwest you go. Okay? So up here, even though you're only getting 0.12 or 0.13 of liquid equivalent up in these areas, according to the GFS, if you have that at a 21 ratio, that's over 2 inches of snow, or almost 3 inches of snow, just because it's so high of a snow ratio. Same thing here to Lehigh Valley, where it's showing 0.63. If it's at 15 to 1, you're talking about 9.5 inches of snow. I'm not saying it's going to be that much, but that's just an example. Okay? So that's what we're doing. We're analyzing the soundings. We're not looking at snow maps. Snow maps are voodoo. That's all it is. It's what snow weenies use to explain things, and that's why you see me using snow maps other than this, which we put out. I really don't care what the snow maps say. We do our own. So a true meteorologist will use this. We'll use soundings to come up with the map, and that's exactly what we did. So let's go on beyond this system, because we're going to have this updated again at 5 o'clock today on the weather alerts page. We do have the slightly milder temperatures today, and then we have the Arctic front coming in. It's going to usher in this cold air. The big story behind this storm is really the cold air coming in, especially for the Monday through Wednesday time frame. I think that is going to be, well, it's really Monday through Thursday, but I mean, Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be in the teens for highs, and that's it. And overnight lows that are going to be 0 or around 0 or below 0 in some places. It's going to be pretty cold, especially when you get to Wednesday morning. Now, the only caveat to that is, as we look ahead here, it is cold in this time frame. It is partly cloudy on Monday. Tuesday, we have partly to mostly cloudy, and then mostly cloudy overnight because we have a system moving off to our south. I do think this remains off of the south, but some of the guidance is suggesting that there's going to be some snow getting all the way up into our south, the far southeastern areas, coastal New Jersey and Delaware here on the GFS that ran this evening. If I go over to the Canadian that ran this evening, it's even further northwest. This is the closest any model has come to it, though. I don't know if it gets that far north. We're going to certainly watch it this week, but this will certainly, at the very least, result in more clouds, which could limit how cold it gets on Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. It's still going to be cold regardless, because you're only getting up in the teens, but maybe it only goes down to 0 instead of -5, because of the cloud cover. It helps insulate things a little bit. We're going to keep an eye on this storm, though, because this could do something for our southeastern areas, and that would be in the Tuesday night, Wednesday time frame. Or at least Wednesday morning, and then the rest of the week we are partly cloudy on Thursday. Temperatures rebounding back into the low to mid 20s, and then we get to Friday, and temperatures are going to be back near freezing, or either side of freezing. So we're going to come out of this. It's just going to take a little bit. We have a winter storm signal here, by the way, for the 24th to 26th time frame. There's the Canadian, what it does. I didn't even see the GFS this evening for that. It's got something there too, so we'll have to keep an eye on that time period there for perhaps something that comes a little bit closer. We have another winter storm signal again at the end of the month too, so there's a lot of different things going on. It's not just this system that we're dealing with on Sunday, but again, I'm going to have a video update with the weather weeklies as part of that on Sunday morning. Start off with that and give an update on the latest and greatest. We'll have a final call map out for this system on Sunday. On Saturday at 5 p.m. That is our next update. It should be our final call at that point. We'll do the same routine we did today. Text alerts, all that stuff prior. And subscribers will get the map early like they did today. We got that map out to those guys at 1:45 p.m. while the public had to wait till 5 p.m. If you don't wait till 5 p.m. and don't want to see ads on the website and you just want it posted to Facebook so you can see the map, we'll have that out earlier for all the subscribers. So look for that subscriber button on the Facebook page. You can get to see that a little bit earlier than everybody else. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchers. That is your outlook for the weekend of January 18th and 19th, 2025. Have a great Saturday and Sunday.